Welcome to Prosperity Month. This is the heart and mind of business. I'm Debbie Clement Large and we're joined with Clara Rose and we're talking about prosperity, in particular, pricing for profit. You're not going to want to miss this. Pricing is such a huge topic when you start working for yourself, and I know it can be really tricky. Clara, for me, it was really interesting when I worked corporately. It was really easy to dictate what salary I wanted, but as soon as I became an entrepreneur, whoa, what do I charge?
Yes, yes. And people tend to, especially early on, really struggle with their own value, right? Not that they don't value themselves as a person, but they tend to undervalue what they have to offer, especially if you're a brand new entrepreneur. This is the first time for you venturing into the world of owning your own business. It can be super overwhelming to try and figure out, okay, what do I charge? So we're going to talk a little bit about that today. Pricing is definitely a part of prosperity, right? Not that prosperity is all about wealth, all about money.
True.
But we have, as business owners, we have to make a living, right? Mama's got to have a new pair of shoes every once in a while, right? We have to take care of our families. This is just a part of life. So when you think about how to price things within your business, you need to keep in mind how many hours of a day you're going to be able to work with people if you're service-based, or how many products you need to sell in order to make the kind of money you need to support yourself, to support your family, right? And when you're walking away from a corporate job, for instance, that made you, $60,000 a year, or, whatever you made, you need to be able to look at your income and know that you can, at some point, reach that, right? To replace that income. I think that's why it's so popular nowadays for people to do the side hustle, right? Start something on the side, grow it up. So it's less scary to take that leap, right? From being employed for someone else who guarantees your paycheck to be employed by yourself, where you're responsible for producing your own paycheck. So I've never been that side hustle kind of person necessarily. I'm a let's just jump in with both feet and make this happen kind of girl. And you did brave. Too, right? But you did too, right?
I did a side hustle.
Oh, did you a side hustle? Okay, I didn't realize that.
I did. I ran Why Follow the Herd for a little bit while I was still employed.
Okay, so just testing the waters.
Testing the water. Is this really what I want to do? Because if you've been, you've been self-employed for, well,
ever, right?
Exactly, since
all my life.
the Big Bang. But
that's a big thing, right? Okay, not that long, but yes, a long time.
But when you've been corporate for a long time, you've suddenly got to learn all these new skills and things that you don't know that you need to know, and you really don't know how to do things. So for me, that was a bit of a gentle shoehorn my way in to working for myself, to do the two. And if I didn't make any money, it didn't matter. And if I did, that was a bonus. So there was no pressure and I got to the point where I just then decided I was going to go and work for myself full time. But it eased me in. It made me appreciate and learn the new world of having your own business.
Yes, and a lot of people do it that way. And if you can do it that way, great. Especially if you're brand new. I think it makes good sense, right? From a financial standpoint, it makes good sense.
But the pricing was hard.
The pricing is still hard, right?
Because I would look at it and say, what would I pay?
Right.
And that's not the same as what somebody else would pay. Or so I'm really keen to know.
Okay. So when you're thinking about pricing, the first thing you have to do is get over the idea that the stuff that you have in your head, or the stuff that you're going to be selling, is easy for everybody. Right? First, you got to just get that out of your head that, things that I know instinctively come like second nature to me because I've been in business for so many years, other people will struggle with. So there is value in what I have to offer them, that stuff that's stuck in my head right? So when I create a product or a service around that, other people, I might go, I give 50 bucks for it because it's something I already possess. Or somebody on the outside, they don't possess it. And so the value is immensely higher for them, right? So you've got to get over yourself to start with and say,
I
all
like
right.
that. Let's sit with that. Getting over yourself, because
Over
right, it is.
yourself.
When you're an expert, you think, oh, that's just easy. Who's going to pay for that? But actually, you're quite right. The people that don't know it will be like, Clara, I need that. I really need that. Let me have that product because that will really help me to do this. So they value it more.
Absolutely.
But
So
then,
part of that's getting out of your own way to start with, realizing who you're serving and what you have to offer, the value that they're going to see in it, right? And then it becomes, okay, I have this product or this service. Let's say it's, a widget. I have this widget that I'm going to sell, right? So how much is this widget worth? Now, of course, we've done our due diligence in the industry that we're going to step into. What are other people charging? How is my widget going to be different than their widget? What does my marketing message look like? All of those pieces that we're talking about every week, or say, okay, I'm going to set, the industry will bear, the market will bear me selling this widget for, $100. Okay. Everyone else is selling their widget for about $100 too. So the natural tendency for some people is to say, oh, well, they're selling this widget for $100. I'm going to sell it for 90. Ergo, I'm going to steal customers, right? I'm going to get customers because I'm cheaper. Now, here's my warning against that. If you have that mindset, if you're always pricing toward my price is better, it's like the race to the bottom, right? So then the other person can go, or other companies can go, oh, well, their widget is only $90. We better run a sale for $75 on our widgets, right? So we can capture our share of the market, right? So there's this race to the bottom that attracts bargain hunters. And so you want to not get sucked into that vortex, because that's not what we're after. Unless you're in an industry that specifically targets bargain hunters, right? The dollar store, that, right? That's a bargain hunter environment. That's not what you want for your new business.
no.
You want to be based on value. So if you look at, okay, they're selling their widget for $100, I'm selling my widget for $100. What will make mine a better deal? What will make mine have more value?
And that's it. Perceived value. Sorry, I didn't mean to jump in.
No, you're absolutely right. Perceived value.
That's so when you said it's perfect, because you said, if one's 100 and you want to do undercut for 90, they could be exactly the same widget, but somebody may look at the 90 and think, oh, maybe it's not quite the same quality as the £100 or the $100 one. Therefore, we'll buy the $100 one because we think it's going to last longer, or it's going to be stronger. Yes.
Totally about perception, the perception of the value. So now, so instead of saying I'm going to lower my price so that I can capture market share, I'm going to, what can I add to this? What value can I add to this that is going to make my deal a better deal to them? Right? Okay, so my widget comes with a carrying case. Right? So that's how I'm going to differentiate myself. My widget comes with a carrying case. Actually, my widget comes with a carrying case that will hold several widgets. So as you expand and you need more widgets, you have a place to carry all of them. And I'm going to give, unlimited customer service. So there's an email address dedicated to you if you need help with your widget, right? I'm adding valuable things to it, and I create this stack of value that makes it a no-brainer, right? Okay, I could buy Clara's widget for $100. I can buy this other widget for $100, but look at all the stuff I get with Clara's widget, right? So that's how you need to look at your pricing, right? So instead of rushing to the bottom, trying to be the cheapest and attracting the wrong customers, unless you're after bargain hunters, I'm not after bargain hunters. I have quality services, quality products, and I want quality people that understand the value and want to work with me, right? So there's really the difference. Now, it doesn't totally answer, Clara, how do I price this, right? Which I get all the time. I have no idea how to price this. What do I do? So if you're stuck at that, how do I price this? sit back and look at what your time is worth. So I have a dollar an hour figure that I base things on when I'm doing services. My services, I know this is going to take me 10 hours. I know what I charge by the hour, or I like things to be charged by the hour for. And so I put together a package price for it. If it's a larger ticket item, my services. So if they're going to pay me all up front, I'm going to give them a discount. If they need to make a couple payments, they're going to pay a little bit more for the convenience of being able to make a couple payments. If they are not in a financial position to pay me what I know this is worth, they're not a good fit for me as a client. Somebody said to me once, "Oh, well, you're the Macy's of helping people write books. I'm the Walmart." Like, oh, okay. that's interesting, right? Interesting perception or perspective for another book, I guess, coach, you might call her, to look at it in that way. Like, oh, I'm the Walmart. She's after the bargain hunters. She connects with that, and I don't. Right? I'm after quality, and so we look at things differently. So that's just a little bit of guidance on how do you come up with a price for your service or your product. If it's product based, of course, the industry standards, if I buy this pen for $10, I have to sell it to you for $20 because I have to cover my overhead and make money. I have to put money in my pocket as well. So there's just kind of a basic overview about pricing. There's a lot more that we could talk about, but of course they could get more information if they grabbed a copy of our book as well. 8 Ways to Mind Your Own Business goes into more detail about that pricing and things of that nature.
It does. I would like to ask you one question, because
Sure.
So the one thing you said was that you have your price per hour. So do you have a different, so say you're doing one-to-one work with somebody, a client, do you have a different price per hour for that as you would have as a price per hour for doing group work or online?
Yes.
How many
I do, sure.
structures? So some you could have in person, then you could have group work, and then you could have solely on demand online.
Right. So if it doesn't involve me, like they just take my online course, the Brainstorm Blueprint or Everything Matters or one of my courses, I have created it. It lives online. I'm not one-on-one involved with that. So that's a lower ticket item, right? They're still getting some of my knowledge, but they're having to do the work without me. If you're doing a co-writing package with me and I'm doing some developmental editing, that's time that I need to spend outside of time that we're together, where I need to be editing and working on their project. If they're one of my annual clients, my year-long coaching programs, we are working on strategy, high level and low level strategy, working on their book, working on their signature speech. That is a much more expensive, because much more intensive for me, labor intensive for me. So I price accordingly. So I have to look at what do you get from me? How much of my time do I need to give directly or indirectly for this program? And then I price it based on that. So I only have so many hours in a day, so much time to give. So I have to be paid my value for that time.
So basically you might have different hourly rates depending on what you're doing and how much of your,
Right. How involved I need to be in the process. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
But it is interesting how many people do struggle with that. So if you're watching now and you're feeling that struggle, then I hear you, because it's certainly something that I've felt. And even now when I create a new product, I have to stop and I have to think, where do I price this? My automatic thing is, because I like a lot of people to be able to access it, because I'm wanting to create that space of enabling growth, personal development. And I don't want to price people out of that. I want people to have access to that. But I also got to be clear that I want money too. So,
right.
I
need to make money. Right.
Yeah. So it's that being of service and enabling as many people to have it as possible. But not wanting, you know, being the best possible price I can be, because that's my strategy of making it available.
Right.
But yeah, so it's finding your point and then being comfortable with it, isn't it?
Yes. So once you get out of your own way, you know, get out of your own head about it, say, okay, it isn't what would I pay for this, but what would somebody who wants this, who needs this, what would they pay for it? And then from there, you can do pricing structures. If you don't get very much of me, I can give it to you at this price. If you get more of me, I've got to charge more. And if you get a lot of me, I've got to really charge more to make it worth my time.
So it's valuing. I think when you value your own time, other people will value your time. So it comes back to your mind again, how you think about yourself, how you value yourself, what you believe you deserve. That's another thing. All those things, and then putting that into your product and seeing how people respond to that.
Yep, I agree with you.
Way, what a fabulous
Yay!
And yeah, so many people struggle with pricing, but hopefully with that little bit of information that you can feel, breathe, just breathe, sit back, don't rush into pricing, don't go to that, you know, lower and lower and lower and lower and lower, because otherwise you'll just end up doing so much work and really getting very little back for it. And people won't value it as much as the, you know, the more expensive. That doesn't mean to say you have to be completely high ticket either, because my values is not necessarily to be high, you know, real high end, because I want people to access the information, and not everybody can afford really high end, and I want it to be out there and accessible. It's part of my beliefs, so that was important to me. So find something that works for you and test it out, have fun with it, don't get too hung up on it.
Yep. And you can change it. Well, right? You can change it. More value, lower the price if you feel you need to.
Yeah. Or offer, like you said, offer something else. Sometimes I have online courses and I'll say, I'll offer as a group as well. So and then people are a bit like, oh yeah, I want to get on a group and I get the program. That's fantastic. And then, you know, I'll get a boost of, because that's an extra thing. And I like that, because I have fun then as being part of that group.
Right. Because it fulfills you. Right. Yeah. Which, you know, it's not all just about the money. It's the work that is fulfilling to us that makes us prosper as well.
Absolutely. Yeah. And thank you for that, Clara. It's wonderful sharing your information. This is Prosperity Month, and prosperity, like you said at the beginning, has so many different avenues to it. And we're going to be exploring that in the different videos this month. So it is wonderful that you've joined us today. Please yes. Please comment. We'd love to hear how pricing looks for you, how you felt pricing your business and your services on your products, how you feel about your own value and where you want to pitch your products. Just let us know where you are and what things are like for you at the moment. And subscribe so that you get the notifications going forward, because we're all in this together and we can all support each other going forward. We're like a ripple effect going out across the world. So we look forward to sharing some more tips around prosperity, different ways to think about prosperity this month, and we'll see you again next week. Have a fantastic week.
See you next week.